The retained EU law bill, rule, has been something that has been wandering through Parliament since the end of October, and it's fundamental to the completion of Brexit. What it's about is restoring our freedoms so that the law of the United Kingdom is our own law, rather than a law imposed upon us by the EU since 1973. And the question is, are we now getting, instead of the roast beef of the full Brexit that we were hoping for with roast potatoes and Yorkshire pudding and lashings of gravy, merely thin gruel, as rumours come out, reported in the Daily Telegraph, that instead of 4,000 rules going to be got rid of, only 800 will be removed. Because actually, if you think of the complaints people had about the EU over the decades, it was often about the detailed pettifogging rules interfering in every aspect of our lives. Things like how strong a hoover could be when it was doing its dutiful hoovering business. It's that type of rule that makes us less economically adaptable, but also has just been annoying to people. Why do we have to have rules that interfere in the minutiae of our lives? And these 4,000, and they include all sorts of things. They include the energy trading scheme, which is making our heavy industry fundamentally inefficient. They include all the product standards. They include a whole range of DEFRA-related rules that have blighted people's lives and been such a nuisance for farmers. And what we need to do is grasp our freedoms with both hands, not just take the easy route of sticking closely to the EU, following it as a regulatory base, but grasping the opportunity to be genuinely free, competitive, to have the famous supply-side reforms that may lead to economic growth. And not doing that shows a lack of ambition from the civil service. And the problem here, as I understand it, is the civil service doesn't want to deliver. Because the minister in charge, Kemi Badenoch, is one of the most dynamic ministers in the government. In many ways, if she can't do it, it must be that there is a real detailed obstacle there of delivery by those who are paid to deliver. Because a lot of the work has already been prepared. There's a dashboard that actually was done when I was Minister for Brexit Opportunities that sets out thousands of these rules. So you can see what they are. You can see how much better off we'd be without them. Every rule, when it was introduced, would have had the details set out in an explanatory memorandum. All of these are stored away, and instead we're getting inertia from the civil service, and we're getting scare stories with people saying we won't have employment rights and we won't have other protections. But bear in mind, Holidays with Pay Act was 1938. The Sale of Goods Act was even earlier, in 1893. Our rights have always predated and go above the European Union. 14 weeks maternity leave required by the EU, 39 weeks in the UK. So what we need to do is grasp the opportunities, direct the civil service, and not allow the blob to stop us achieving the prosperity that we can get by using our sovereignty to break free of the EU.